All right, let's jump right in. In the HVAC world, big changes don't usually happen overnight, except when they do. Right now, there are installers out there who have a massive, almost unfair advantage, and it all boils down to one single secret weapon that a lot of their competitors are just now waking up to. And I mean, this chart really tells the story. For a couple of years, adoption of this new tech was, steady, predictable. Then, boom, look at year 3. That's not just growth, that's an explosion. It's a revolution happening in real time. And it tells us that something big is fundamentally changing the game, and it's happening fast. So that leads us right to the big question, doesn't it? What is this secret weapon? What's giving certain pros such a huge lead over everyone else? Well, before we can get to the answer, we first have to understand the problem it was designed to solve. See, the HVAC industry has been feeling the heat for a while now, no pun intended. It's been under this unique set of pressures, all pushing from different directions, all demanding a smarter, better way of doing things. Think about it. You've got tougher and tougher environmental laws demanding a smaller carbon footprint. At the very same time, your customers are demanding higher energy efficiency because they want to lower their bills. And for contractors on the ground, operational costs just keep going up, and dealing with clunky, complicated materials just slows you down. This whole situation created the perfect storm for a real game changer to come along. So, with all that context, it's time for the big reveal. The technology that's causing that massive spike in adoption we saw, it's not some fancy smart thermostat or a new power tool. It's something much, much more fundamental to the entire system. That's right. The answer is a next-generation refrigerant. It is the literal lifeblood of an air conditioning system, and this new formula is completely rewriting the rules of the game. So, meet R-32. In the simplest terms, it's a pure, single-component refrigerant. That alone makes it way easier to work with than the old blends. But the real magic comes down to two things. It has a much, much lower global warming potential, so it's way better for the planet, and it's just flat-out more efficient at moving heat. So better for the environment and better at its job. It's a win-win. Okay, so that's what R-32 is, but why is it the secret weapon we've been talking about? Let's break down exactly what that competitive advantage looks like in the real world. This chart really says it all. Let's put R-32 head-to-head with the old industry workhorse, R-410A. First up, global warming potential, or GWP. R-410A is over 2,000. R-32? Just 675. That is a staggering drop. Next, how much you need. You use about 20% less R32 to get the same job done. And finally, efficiency, well, it's just plain higher. On every single metric that matters, R32 is the clear winner. And let's just put a fine point on that environmental impact for a second. Making the switch from R410A to R32 cuts the global warming impact by nearly 68%. That is not a small, incremental improvement. That is a giant leap forward. So what does this all mean for the installer who's actually out there on the job? Well, because it's a single component, it's easier to handle, easier to charge, and easier to recycle. Since you need less of it, that means lower costs and lighter systems. And that higher efficiency allows manufacturers to design smaller, more compact equipment. But maybe the biggest advantage of all, by using R32, you're already meeting future environmental standards. Today, you're future-proofing your business. Now, a new technology is only as good as its adoption, right? So how did this actually take off in the market? Well, one company saw the writing on the wall very early on and made a massive bet on R32, and that company was Goodman. This quote really gets to the heart of their strategy. Goodman saw that R32 wasn't just about checking a box to meet the next government regulation. They saw it was a fundamentally better product, one that could give a real-world advantage to the contractors who trust and install their equipment every single day. And that, right there, is the secret weapon. By getting out ahead of the curve and building their systems around R32, Goodman essentially handed their entire network of professionals a massive head start. While other companies are now scrambling to catch up, Goodman installers have been out there for years, offering a superior, more efficient, and more future-proof product. So what's the big takeaway here? This whole shift is about so much more than just a different can of gas. The move to R32 represents a brand new baseline for performance, for efficiency, and for environmental responsibility. It's not just an option anymore, it's the new competitive standard. And that leaves us with one final powerful thought. For any HVAC pro out there looking to stay ahead of the curve, the choice is becoming clearer by the day. The question is no longer if you'll make the switch to this superior technology, it's really about how long you can afford to wait.